some tech questions that you guys may have. So Max can kind of give you a thorough explanation on some of the stuff and what they've been working on, and answer any questions you guys might have regarding the platform or any issues that you guys should or may still be having. I think everybody should be good now, but if there is any lingering issues, Max can address that. But before we get into that, I wanted to just kind of go over and do a few quick little updates for you guys prior to Max taking the floor. We'll kind of kill two birds with one stone. We'll just do a quick little community update / AMA, and then a tech overview with Max in the house here. So to give you guys a brief synopsis of what we've been working on the last week or so, as you guys know, the Crypto Expo in Dubai was a huge success. I think Aaron actually leaves tomorrow. He's heading back stateside. Gabe, I think left today or yesterday, so he may be back in Brazil by now. But yeah, it was a great success. The expo was a hit. We were, had a ton of positive feedback on the booth. Even got ourselves a little take-home award, which is really cool. Met up and did a lot of business behind the scenes as well. Shook a lot of hands. Handled pretty much just about everything we wanted to accomplish while we were there. We did it. So I'm very impressed and ecstatic about the guys' performance and the community members that's really, stood up to the call and helped out with the booth and put in the extra effort to kind of make sure that things went off without a hitch. So for everybody that was involved, we appreciate all your guys' support and help and the efforts that was definitely needed, right? Because Gabe and Aaron can't do it all by themselves. So a lot of people from the community really stepped up, and we appreciate it. So hats off to you guys. Now, aside from the expo, and getting back to brass tacks, what we've been kind of working on, as you guys know, we've been working with several centralized exchanges. So we're in different parts of the process with several different ones right now. And we can't obviously give you guys any information as regarding who it is, when the listing dates, all those things, because we just don't know. And because of NDAs and all those things. So when you're, dealing with centralized exchanges, especially the larger ones, it's a bit of a process, right? It's not just like a here sign on the dotted line. We're going to list you on this date, right? There's a lot of moving parts to it. So as we get further along in the processes, and as we're allowed to, dispel any kind of actual facts and information to you guys regarding dates and names and those things, you guys will be the first to know for sure. But I just wanted to let you guys know that we're actively pursuing multiple exchanges and that we're in different parts of the process with each different one of them. So that's something to look forward to here in the coming days and weeks. The State Realty token, as you guys know, the update came out last week. I know Max will probably talk about it. He's got an iOS update that they want to put out today that'll be available probably, I think he was saying probably Wednesday or so. There's just a couple final little bugs that they were working on they're going to put out. Doesn't really have anything to do, State Realty, so we're going to go ahead and push the launch for Friday, this coming Friday, which is the 26th. Before let me look at my calendar. Hold on, I don't want to say the wrong name. 25th. So we're going to be doing the 25th. We'll say around 5 Eastern. So late afternoon for you folks on the East Coast, early afternoon for those on the other side. So look for that on Friday. We'll give you guys some more details as we get a little bit closer, maybe on Thursday regarding starting market cap. We won't release the actual smart contract address out to you guys until, just a little bit before the actual launch. But everything's going to be the same. The max buy, the cool down period, everything else is going to be the same. But we'll talk about it a little bit more in detail as we get closer, right? Because today's Monday, so we got a few days. Don't want to, there'll be plenty of questions between now and then. So we'll talk about that as we get a little bit closer to Friday. So with the State of Mass updates, Max and his team are putting together a list right now and going through them as far as new tokens that are going to be launched. I think they said they're going to have that list available for us tomorrow. So we should have an updated list on the second wave of tokens that we'll be releasing on Saitamask tomorrow. Then it's just a matter of those projects injecting liquidity and then us creating the pairing options. So look for that in the next few days. We should have a list available for you guys, for the community now, as soon as tomorrow, to show you the next wave of tokens we have. And then we'll start reviewing more. And like I said, we're hoping to try to get some out at least maybe like once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on our onboarding process and how quickly we can kind of streamline things. I know Max talked about in the past making an automated system. I don't think we're quite there yet, but we do, we're trying to make things as quick as possible. So keep an eye out for that tomorrow. As you guys see, we have our FANG beta platform out. So you guys make sure to check out the thing, the NFT platform. It's pretty sleek. There's it's a beta test, so there's a few issues that we're working through. Gabe and Grapes and the team are going through it and getting community feedback and look at some little, coding issues along the way. But that's why we beta test, right? We make sure that it's a fully functional platform before we make it available to the public and launch the actual live version. So we've beta testing through it and allowing these guys to kind of fine tune things. There's a bunch of smart contracts written underneath that will allow, obviously, for exclusive Saitama pairing on the platform itself. So when you mint, buy, sell, and trade the NFTs, it's through the Saitama token, right? So right now, I think you can see Ethereum on there. When we initiate and launch the smart contract protocol on there, it'll be in Saitama. So this is the beta version. We do have a lot of really cool NFT exclusive partnerships that we're working with. So once we get the actual fully functional version out, we can put that on there as well. So really cool stuff with the NFT. If you guys have had a chance or haven't yet, check it out. It's pretty cool. These guys did an amazing job putting it together. If you see any issues with it, please reach out to ourselves or Grapes or to Gabe or somebody that's in the content creation department, so we can kind of look at it, right? That's why we beta. We'll let you guys look at it too. You might see things that we haven't, so please feel free to reach out with some questions or concerns that you might have as far as the Fang platform itself. So I think it's kind of the meat and the potatoes of kind of what we're working on right now. I'll let Max kind of talk a little bit on the tech side and what they're doing and answer some questions that you guys might have regarding the Saitamask features and everything else. So go ahead, Max, you got it, brother.
Well, it seems like you covered a lot of the stuff that I was going to talk about, at least as far as updates and info. So
Hey, Max, you need to. Max, we don't listen. You're good.
Oh, can you hear me now?
There you go, my man.
All right. No, I was saying that it seems like Russell covered a lot of the stuff that I wanted to touch up on, at least of what's coming and what we're doing currently this week. And I was making a joke. I was saying, well, I guess great anime, everybody. But anyways,
yeah. So, I saved some for you. I thought it was technical stuff, right? I just kind of cruise over the top, man. I let you get a deep dive.
True. So, well, I mean, a lot of the idea behind this AMA is mostly just to answer questions and go over things, just in case everybody has some questions regarding Saitamask so far, and as far as technical details or any details they they are curious about. But we are rolling out an update that should hit the Apple Store hopefully by Wednesday, or if not sooner, just because they take a while sometimes. Also, as Russ mentioned, we'll be launching Saita Realty on Friday. We'll send out all the information when we're ready. And let me see, as far as Saitamask goes, an automated solution, just to touch a little bit on that, when you mentioned for bringing on onboarding new projects, technically from a technical point of view, everything is automated. More or less, is what's required to automate is the audit process that we put most projects through, right, or all projects actually, to make sure that they're solid projects. And if it's something that I would personally invest in, or the team or whoever is looking into it as far as auditing, then obviously we would put it on our platform. If it's something that we might find that there's some issues, or not just issues, something that doesn't feel right, obviously we work with the team and the project to bring them on, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But that's the part that we're looking to automate, that audit process, so it can pick out good contracts, or if there's any issues that we see or red flags on the contracts themselves, that's kind of what we're going to automate, so that way a project can sign up and go through the steps without little to no intervention from one of our personnel here.
Max, I have a few questions for you from the community. Once you finish, I'm going to give you those questions. That's my give the speakers in the room a little bit of an idea of if they have the same question, that they don't have to come up as a speaker.
Sure. No, I think that'd be great. We can go through the pre aggregated list of questions, and then if anybody has additional questions, we can go through some of those if you want. Shoot whenever you're ready.
Yeah, hey, Han, real quick before we go into the questions, I just wanted to also touch base. I forgot to mention that we wanted to do the Seder Realty on Friday, and then looking to hopefully do the exclusive pairing there with the Lucky Root token to follow maybe next week. It really just depends on the Realty token, being that it's our first exclusive pairing option on Saitamask. We don't anticipate any issues, but we want to make sure that we launch that on Friday. Run some analytics on it, make sure everything's good. We didn't have any bottlenecking. Everything ran accordingly and smoothly as planned. And then if Max gives us a green light and says, hey, that, Seder Realty launch as well, everything's good, then we can start looking at the, launching the Lucky Root contract accordingly. So I just wanted to briefly touch on that because I know people were probably curious when we were going to get that out for everyone as well. So it all depending on Friday and the launch, and from there we'll put another date out for the following Lucky Root token. So anyways, that's all I had. I just forgot to mention that first. So go ahead, on, you can go with the questions.
Thank you, Russ. So Max, the first question is, people want to know about the cost of the transaction, because some people have the impression that it's only 2%, but it's depending on when you swap the token. Sometimes it's more than 2%. Can you explain that?
So it's not a fixed fee. The only fixed fee that there is on Saitamask is the liquidity provider fee, which just gets distributed to the liquidity pools and the liquidity holders, and that's a 0.25%. But other than that, anything else above that is either gas fees or fees that come from the contract that you're swapping with. In this case, Saitama, it is 2%. But if you're swapping with something else, then there's the fees that come from that specific contract.
So basically, the tax that's built and coded into the other contract coin, right? So if we're dealing with like Impact XP or whatever, right, I think it's like 8 or 10%. So that's part of that, not the 2% for Saitama, but the taxation on that token itself, because they all have their own individual tokenomics.
Correct. That all depends on the tokenomics of the contract that you're swapping with and how it's built.
That is good to know. I don't think we know that information until now, so that's must clear up any confusion that people have. And then there are still a very small group of people that's still having a looping problem when they try to log in. Do you have a report of the transaction that successfully sign in and those that are not successfully sign in from your report?
So what we do is we track the crashes that are happening, or if there's any issues specifically that happen on devices. Of course, we're not tracking any personal information. It's just completely general. So I can't tell you specifically, hey, John Doe, their application is crashing. But I can tell you from looking at our statistics here, I'll pull it up actually in front of me because I'm on my PC. In the last 24 hours, we've had about maybe less than 1%. We're still keeping it, and that's about like 200 or 300 crashes over a few million hits. So it's relatively low, but some people are experiencing a crash, and it seems like it's an exception that we are addressing in our further release, just to try to help them out for their device-specific crashes. A lot of the crashes come from people using maybe like UA or other devices that are like kind of unknown. And obviously we can't purchase every single device in the world to test it out. But we'll work through them and add it in further release if we find something that can help them with their crash. For the most part, I would tell everybody that's having a crash to clear their cache and then also reinstall the application. And it should resolve their crash issue, unless it's something that's specifically to the device and their apps that they're running. Yeah, every time you install an application on your device, it alters what you have as far as in memory or what you have in cache, and sometimes some applications don't play well. Obviously, this is talking in general, not any specific case.
Thank you for that. And the next question is, when people try to swap from Saitama to a different token that we have available right now, the transaction doesn't show up immediately. Are you addressing that issue within the next update?
So is that in the latest update? Because I believe we addressed that on the last update, where there were some transactions that weren't showing up right away, at least as far as the statuses wasn't updating right away, but we tweaked a little bit of our services in the background to make it more of an instant type of update. So I guess we can confirm that. If not, then obviously we'll keep building on top of it.
Okay, I will keep track of those failure once they report it to me. The next question is, are we going to work on bridging to a different network, Polygon, Phantom, things like that in the future?
That is a yes. Also, depending on the progress of Cytochain, which is our own blockchain. But I believe there is a active conversation as far as having other peripheral networks so that we can transact at a cheaper rate, or for certain things like NFTs and with Fang and stuff like that. That's something definitely we're looking at.
Okay, so we can say that is the yes for the answer, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Coke Zero, if you have a question, go ahead, sir.
A simple yes.
Awesome.
Hey Max, how you doing, man? I'm being, when you co-host and you guys are around, it's like a lot of DMs. But I think that the most principal ones and the better ones are the first one. When do you think it's going to be available, the bridge for the BSC?
With BSC, like Binance Chain. So that's
Yeah.
goes to when we start bridging to other networks. I don't have a specific date on that, but it's sooner rather than later. Just that all depends on what's the best for our project at the time.
Yeah, I think he's talking about like adding
More in the business
BSC
side of things.
tokens, like the couple BSC tokens that we had apply. And that's more just like creating a pool, right? I mean, do we have to actually have like a Matic bridge there to transact?
So what we have to do is, or what we're planning on doing, is a Matic bridge over to BSC, so you can have Saitama on both sides, and then you would pair that directly with the actual token or that project that might be on BSC. So you would have to have a kind of like a one-to-one conversion of Saitama on the BS side with Ethereum. So, but a lot of depends on what we're going to be planning on doing. Also, we're looking at Polygon chain, so we'll take a look at a few different ones when we come to that.
Okay, my man, sounds good. The other one that I'm checking out here is about the staking. They're asking me about when you guys are planning to gearing up staking. Is this going to happen after Cider Realty launch, or do we are going to expect this one later on?
Yeah, so it's going to be after Cider Realty launch, which is part of our Cider desktop application. When the Cider desktop app is ready to go and released, then it would have the staking features enabled.
All right, and the last one, so more people can ask, is going to be when you are in the swapping function. I get this message not from only one, but like from 5 people, saying that you're not. It's barely for you to. It's like shady or hard to see the numbers and USD because they're in black, right? So when you try to swap,
Update.
yeah, they were just asking if you can do something like brighter so they can
No.
get the
Yeah,
numbers.
that's going to change completely. Actually, one of the things that our front end designer is working on too is a light mode and a dark mode. So that way, it might be easier for certain people to see if they want to see it on a lighter screen, or if they want the dark mode enabled. Then that's going to be part of the UI updates that they're doing.
Okay,
But
sounds good.
the specific one that's going to come pretty quickly.
All right, so we can continue with more people. There's a lot of people requesting, but I think this one is a really good one, and it's saying, Um, Saitamask is currently not reflecting accurate values in the asset tab. Is there a fix for that? That's from Saita YCAN.
Yeah, so it's reflecting accurate values based on the information that it has for Saitama or Saitamask, the app itself, right? And so we have our own liquidity pools, and we are aggregating information from multiple sources like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. But at the end of the day, also the liquidity pools are going to be the master for Saitamask. I think that's kind of what. We probably haven't done a great job of getting across is that Saitamask is its own platform. It doesn't depend on what the price is on, let's say, Uniswap or anywhere else, even in non-DEX tools. It's going to be setting its own price and it's going to fluctuate. Obviously, you try to keep it very close to where everyone else is doing as you aggregate and match, and that's how the liquidity pools kind of fill and drain. But at the same time, it's always going to be its own thing.
Sounds great, man. Thank you, Max, for the information. And we go for Saita Empress.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hi, Russ. Hi, Coke Zero. Hi, Max. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. We really appreciate it. We know how hard you're working on our behalf. I have a couple of questions here. One of the popular ones I was having was the app crashing after the splash screen. That was one of them. Is that going to be one of the issues addressed in the new update?
So that specific issue, it's we're looking into it because it's device specific. It seems like certain people, today there was about 200 or so over what I mentioned before, but for the most part, most people that are on iPhone, because this is a iPhone specific issue from what I've seen, are able to get on and go through the splash screen. But we are addressing that, and that's something that we're going to be working on to see if we can find an edge case where somebody might have a specific application downloaded that is interfering with our application or something that is being caused in the background to fail.
Okay, thank you very much. I know that one of the particular people, I know that it's just one, but I'm sure there are many more. They had an Apple device and an Android device and was having the same issue on both, so it was kind of driving them a little bit crazy. But
So is this recent on the most recent version, or this is something that happened in a previous version? That'll help narrow it down a little bit because on the Android one, I believe on the newest updates, those were all addressed. Unless this is a new one to me.
I'm honestly, I'm not sure. I think when last I spoke to them, it might have been prior to the newest update for the Android part of it. I know the people who have come back to me after the update have mostly been Apple users. So you may have a good point there.
All right, yeah. I mean, we'll play it by ear and keep taking a look at it. But yeah, that's what I would say for now.
Okay. Another one that has come up a few times. Some users, they did transactions in older versions of the app. After updating to the new version, they had some issues. They cleared cache, closed all open tabs in the browser, uninstalled the app, reinstalled it, and when they went back in, actually they also deleted their account. They re-imported their old Saitamask seed phrase, and then their transactions were all gone. They did not have any. Yeah, they could not see their old transactions in there anymore using the
Yeah,
seed.
so if you delete your account, your transactions are cleaned from our servers and the application itself. But of course, being blockchain that it is, your transactions are all recorded on the blockchain, so you can see it through EtherScan. It's just they're not, cataloged in our app. Maybe I'm actually writing this down as I'm talking, and I'm gonna add it as a feature request in the future for if you recreate your account with your seed phrase to automatically pull the transactions from EtherScan. Even though that might be a little bit intensive if you have hundreds of thousands of users and they're pulling all that information just because some people have thousands of transactions. But I'll take a look at it.
That would be awesome because they do check Etherscan and they are seeing the transactions on Etherscan, but nothing is showing up on the newly created, well, when they re-import the wallet, it's not showing up. So that would be awesome because that was one of the ones that were making a few people really, really nervous.
Yeah, yeah. When somebody logs in, they don't see. I mean, it's Saitamask itself or any other application that's out there sits on top of the blockchain. It interacts with it, it does transactions, but at the end of the day, where everything gets committed is to the general ledger on the blockchain, so that it's immutable. We can't really delete it or do anything with it. It's always there.
Right. Awesome. I'm sure that's going to make some people very, very happy to hear that. So thank you so much. And if you don't mind, I have two more questions coming in. One person asked, okay, the liquidity lock is going to expire soon. What's the plan for relocking the liquidity? Do you guys have an idea yet when it's going to be relocked?
So that's a conversation that we've been having internally on what's to do about that. It could be that we relock it. It could be that we put it to a vote with the community, and the community decides that, well, maybe we need a Saitama version 2 with a migration. I've heard cases for both sides. Obviously, chances are that what's going to happen is just going to be just relocked, because if you create a new contract and then you migrate everybody over, obviously it's especially if you're migrating about 350,000 people that we have now older.
Sorry, if you're in the blockchain or if I'm in the blockchain, I'm not hearing you very clearly.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. You were just kind of breaking in and out, like you were in bad reception area or something.
Oh, okay, maybe. Am I coming in better now, or?
Yes.
You're better.
All right. So, how far did I get? That's a good question. I can start at the beginning. So what I was saying was, we are looking into it. Chances are is that it's going to be relocked, but there's no other possibilities that we are entertaining as a team. And then eventually, I think it'd be important to have the community vote on those things,
Okay.
of those different plans that we might have. One might include migrating over to a version 2 of Saitama, or relocking, but relocking on Saitamask. So Saitamask is the provider and has all the liquidity for Saitama rather than Uniswap. There's multiple ways to go about it, but we are definitely looking at it and want to have a plan in place well before that happens. So then we can go forward.
Okay.
Did you get all that?
No, he's in the blockchain.
No, you're not in the blockchain. The thing is that in the mic panel, we're having problems, but the people in the listener panel, they do listen correctly to you, Max. You're good.
Oh, okay, great.
All right. Actually, of course, my DMs are blowing up right now. Lots of questions coming in, but I do have one more. It's good that you mentioned the community voting with regard to locking liquidity as being one of the options. One of the listeners, Mr. Big Stink, actually, is curious to know if you guys can consider doing like a weekly pick for new tokens to be listed. Have the community vote on like a weekly pick for a new token, and just something
Yeah,
consider.
I think that's something that we can start as far as a community project, and then obviously those can be added to the list, and then as long as they're a legitimate project or a project that it seems I wouldn't say free from red flags, but that we feel is safe, then yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't be great. Obviously, this token has been built around a community, so we want to definitely keep that going.
Absolutely, that would be awesome. And wow, sorry, my last question. Someone asked, Cool and Chris asked if it would be possible to enable screenshots.
Yeah, that can be doable. That I guess that I've heard a lot of conflicting information whether or not people want to do screenshots. If you start taking screenshots of your seed phrase and then somebody gets to your phone and to get your picture, That's kind of like why no screenshots. But if enough people from the community want it, we can have it. The idea is to have a secure application, but that's something that we can review. I'll write it down and then we'll put it to like a vote.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Max. Appreciate it.
Sure, no problem. Anytime.
All right, Max. We're gonna continue with the panel and the mic panel, and then I will have some questions. So we go for La Jota first, then we go for crypto Mike. Then you go with a shield buddy. Go ahead, La Jota.
Hey, what's up, people? Ross, how you doing, sir?
I'm well, man. Appreciate it.
I'm talking from a Spanish community called Saitama Español. Um, I'm here from the beginning. You know, I remember those news that appears the NBA logo. I see the ESPN logo. I'm just trying to know if you guys got still with those plans in the game, like do something with the NBA professionals.
Yeah, so right now, so we had it's actually with some of the retired players in the NBA that we're doing some NFT stuff with, that we're looking to roll out on our platform, our Fang platform once we get out of beta. We got some NFT stuff that we're working with these guys on. We do have a couple of ESPN talk radio shows that are sponsored by Saitama. I don't know if you guys listen to those, but they're actually ongoing every day. And every time they go on a commercial break or whatever, they're like, hey, brought to you by Saitama. So those are contracts that we did a long time ago that are still active currently. We do have some stuff with some more like actual professional teams, but we're in contract negotiation phases with a lot of different things for marketing and some big organizations. So everything that we have put out in the past or that we've done or that we marketed or that we've hinted to, all that stuff's still on the table, man. We're just kind of knocking things out one at a time. We have at any given moment, 10 to 12, 15 different contracts circulating around in negotiation phases with different parts of our business, different marketing strategies and partnerships we're creating every day at any given moment. It's just a matter of when things roll out, when they come to fruition, when the contracts are signed, as things come out, and a lot of it comes down to funding too. As you guys know, that we don't have a marketing wallet, so when we have revenue generated, or when myself and Max and the rest of the team are able to inject funds into the company, we do to move some of these things along. So everything that we have right now, like I said, it's all in different stages, but everything is there and it's progressive, and everything that we do is very strategic, and it's all based on an end game and result. So everything can't happen like immediately, because not only is it counterproductive, but it doesn't, it's not really conducive to our brand and our marketing scope and what we want to do. So, but yeah, it's all there, man.
Hey, I'm just want to say something. I'm just want to see Allen Iverson doing something with you, Ross.
Well, cross me up and break my ankles or what? Because that's probably what would happen.
so you need to talk with Willie or do something about it.
Yeah, we'll set something up, man. We got a lot of stuff coming up, man. There's a ton of stuff on the marketing side, and and collaborations and branding and dual branding and working with big organizations to get the Saitama logo and stuff out there, man. We got a lot of good stuff, and I know Aaron is always working and meeting and greeting and shaking hands and doing crazy things. So we'll keep you guys posted, man. We'll get everybody. Once you guys are always the first to know. Like once we get contracts signed and we got the ball moving in the right direction, we always try to let you guys know right off the bat. But certain things we can't really talk about until they're 100% done, so we don't jeopardize any of these future relationships and partnerships.
All right, bro. Appreciate everything that you do. Thank you for everything.
All right. Before we go to crypto, you have your hand raised, President Shield. Go ahead.
Hey, I just had a question about the desktop version. Is that going to be out before State Realty, or is that something that's coming after?
It's coming shortly after.
Shortly after. There was also another question. Someone had said that they'd had 3 wallets in Saitamask in the assets section. They read correct, but in the swap, they all read as the first wallet. Is there anything coming to show each individual wallet that you had?
In the asset tab?
Yeah, in the assets section, he's saying that it's showing his 3 wallets, but then in the swap, it just shows the first wallet.
So in the swap, there should be a drop-down list so you can choose which wallet you would like to swap from. But I'll definitely take a look on.
So she's saying that like the 3 different won't have 3 different wallets on Saitamask, and then when they switch to a different wallet, the same assets show up from the first wallet. It doesn't reflect the new one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, converts to the one that you originally put in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that should be updated on future releases. So it's probably a bug that you're running into, but we're definitely taking a look at all the bugs and make sure that everything reflects correctly.
Hey, if you can take a pictures of that and DM me, HTN is my Twitter handle, and I will forward it over to Max.
Okay, no worries. And then the last one was just, was there any plans to add any more liquidity quicker, or is that kind of going to be?
What was the question again?
Is there more plans to add the more liquidity quicker, or is that going to be spaced over time?
That's something that happens over time automatically, but we are working to add more liquidity to different projects. Of course, working with the project owners themselves, and also for Saitama and Ethereum. And we want to bring more stable pairs. I know that's a part of our plan that we had met on. Again, now that we're outside of what Dubai is, then we can get back to work on everything that we're trying to get done.
Yeah. And then the last one is just about the currency changer, because obviously a lot of us are in the UK and we can only see it in dollars. So would we be able to change that over eventually?
Yeah. So we have a release pending that's localization, where it does region specific, like details like currency. Also, language is going to be a thing if you have in multiple different language. So it's since it's a global application, so that's something definitely that's going to be worked on. I'll probably reach out to some members of our community or anybody that would like to help in translating. I can only learn so many languages in a short time, but if not, if anybody wants to help, that'd be great.
No worries, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we need people to translate because I only speak like 10 languages, and the UK version of English is not one of them. So we're going to need some help with that, President Chill, if you don't mind. But no, just to kind of touch on the liquidity portion, I know because Max was talking about it, but just to kind of reiterate to you guys, like as each transaction flows through, more liquidity is added. So it's kind of as we will go along, as the platform normalizes, as more transactions take place, the more liquidity is going to be added. We add more too, but also when we add new projects onto there, right, they have to provide X amount of dollars in Saitama and X amount of dollars in native token, which helps balance out our liquidity pool. And as we start to integrate these exclusive projects like Lucky Brew, State of Realty, and these other ones that we're working on too, that'll help normalize our liquidity pool as well. So it is really in the ground floor of it, but every transaction that goes through really helps build up and stabilize our platform. So we're, I mean, I think from day one up until now, Max, I mean, what do you think? We've gone quite a ways, right? I think our LP has increased drastically over probably even the last couple of weeks, I would assume.
Yeah, it has. I mean, obviously we're monitoring the liquidity pools, but we've done thousands and thousands of transactions every day. It keeps growing. But it'll take time, but we'll also add additional liquidity, and anybody that wants that liquidity also can through the application. So as the project gains more steam and things start to stabilize, I'm pretty sure that'll start filling up a lot quicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I don't know how long do we have, Max?
So I was trying to keep it to about an hour or so. So I'll probably be like 15 minutes more here.
Yeah, that's good with me. I got about 15 minutes.
All right. Thank you, Russ. Then we're going to Shield. Then we have to go to the guy went out. Oh no, he's here. Colorado Crypto. So Shield Buddy, what's up? Shield Buddy, are you there? Shield Buddy. Okay. So go ahead then. Go ahead, Colorado.
Hey Max, I just had a question for you. When I'm in the swap functions, I can't send. I could send Ethereum or Saitama out from my wallet in Saitamask to another wallet, but I can't send any other coins out. It's not giving me that option. And then also, I can't swap any other coins in Saitamask for Saitama or Ethereum. Is that going to be an option or?
Yeah, so I mean, the idea to add other pairs is there, as we wanted to give a chance for Saitama and the usage behind Saitama to also burn more coins. But eventually, we want to add a bunch of other different pairs to allow people to be able to send or swap for. Right now, as the app is growing and is stabilizing, we want to, have it Saitama centered, but eventually it just becomes a DeFi application and swap.
Okay, yeah, because I was just trying to get more Saitama from another coin I had, but it won't give the option. It will not swap. I even put it up to like a 50% slippage, and it still won't give me an option. So that was my main question.
So is it a pair that already exists?
Yeah, it's a pair that's already. It's coins we already have in Saitamask.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to swap those to Saitama.
Okay, so now I understand. So that has to do a lot of the liquidity pair and the pool that is for that token. That's something that the project owners of each individual respective project is working on, is added liquidity for their tokens. Even though the pools are growing, the amount of liquidity that was added, obviously, it got a lot of response. So right now, if you want to swap specific coins or tokens, you have to add a high slippage until they add more liquidity themselves. But that's something that they're definitely actively working on.
Okay, thanks. Glad to see you getting better, Russ. You guys have a good night.
Likewise.
Thanks, man.
Have a good night, man. Hey, Max, whenever you are listening to somebody else, since in the listener panel, they hear all the feedback going on. I don't know, like echo. So if you can just mute your mic and unmute your mic, I know it's something else, but thank you, bro. All right, Crypto Craig. After Crypto Craig, we have El Jefe.
Hello.
Hello, you're good to go.
Okay, thank you very much. Just a quick question based on the Saitamask app that's on at the moment. When I first moved over Saitama, that went into one of its own, obviously, folder. But the problem I've got with it is 66 trillion, I think it is, in Saitama, but it won't let it move out because it's classed as Ethereum. So I've become like the richest man in the world, but I don't have any money. I don't know. I've messaged so many people. I don't trust anyone on any platforms. I got messages today off a guy on Instagram that was pretending to be Russ.
Yeah, I could definitely try to help you out directly because I'm not necessarily sure what's going on. If you want to send me, I can send you a message, or you can send me a message on here on Twitter since it's pretty valid, and then we can connect from there, and I can help you out.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. It's just one of them. At first, I didn't realise I could do a Coinbase wallet direct on, so I sent over my Saitama, and that's the one that's giving me the problem. It comes up in the swap feature as Saitama, but if I was trying to send it back to my folder, it's coming through as Ethereum, and it's like, I think it's like 197 quadrillion pounds or something like that.
Yeah, they'll definitely take a look at it. That's probably when you're trying to do the swap, but you should be able to transfer in and out. But I can help you out if you send me a message on here.
Yeah, if you could message me, please. Sorry to speak over you.
Sure. What is your name on here? I don't think
it's under Crypto Craig.
Yeah, you just gotta follow him. If you're on your phone, make sure you just click on his name, follow him, send him a message. But also, just so you guys know, like, I'm never on Instagram, so if
I knew that straight away.
I only got like 50 followers or something. I don't even know where my app is for Instagram. So if you get a message from me, most of the time if you get a message from me and it sounds like a scam, it's probably a scam because I don't really message people that often.
the only people that ever message me on Twitter are scammers anyway. So,
All right, I'll say Crypto Dave. I sent you. I did a follow.
thank you very much.
You should be able to reach your account.
All right, man. El Jefe, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? I just want to say shout out to all the Wolfpack, Shaka, AJ, Taurus, PR, Crypto Alert, Anime. You know, a lot of guys that got me into the whole space of Saitama. But I just had one question about Saitamask. Do you guys actually plan on doing some kind of like referral program just to get more people integrated into the Saitamask space?
Yeah, so that's something that we talked about previously. We don't have a specific plan on rolling that out, but if enough people want it, we can definitely implement it into the Saitamask, where you do have a referral for bringing somebody in, and it can come from obviously the fees that are generated.
It would be cool to do like a reward thing, like Coinbase and all those. It's like they get like $10 in free token or whatever on there. That'd be something we could do. Maybe get like $10 in Saitama or something, like a referral program.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Just because I kind of feel like that would help onboard more people, just bringing word of mouth and bringing more people into the Saitamask and making this thing go parabolic, which it's already gonna do from what I've seen, from my perspective.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know how difficult that would be to integrate, but I'm sure Max and the team can figure something out.
Yeah. Actually, I already wrote it down and put it in our JIRA item to review and see what we can do around that and the mechanisms.
Good deal, good deal. Yeah, that was pretty much my only question. But yeah, shout out to all the Wolfpack though. You guys hold strong, 350,000. Let's do it.
Let's go. All right. Billy Goat, your turn. You're not there? Okay. Saitama Refugee.
What's up, guys? Just wanted to give a couple of user feedback comments. Could we get commas in the token readouts? One. And then two, what's your guys' automatic, your guys' recommended slippage? 5%. Can we make that a default in there? Because I've run into a few people that have had errors with their swaps from that.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as the comments, that is part of the regional and localization release that I was talking about earlier. So we are going to have that. As far as the slippage for a specific pair, it will all be different. Obviously, if a pair has a less liquidity or it's a liquid pool, then you're going to need more slippage because you're going to have a higher price impact. For somebody that's more stable, it's a lot lower. We do have kind of a standard slippage that we put there, but obviously for newer projects, you have to put a way higher slippage. I've had discussions with people that put 40% on slippage on something that's about to release, and you have all these people buying at the same time. But yeah, we could definitely look into having a more standard.
And then a real quick last thing. Would it be possible to get like a yearly staking program into it too, with anything more than that 13%? Or heck, I don't care if it doesn't get anything else. Just being able to stake for a year would be a whole lot easier.
Yeah, so I mean, right now we haven't have anything in mind. I know at in the early stages when we were coming up with the use case for Saitama and education, we wanted to do something like staking until it matures for college for students, or a lot of different things. But obviously that would take let's say 18 years if it's your kid that you're putting staking for or something like that. But that's something that we could definitely talk about.
Cool. Thank you for your time. Have a good one, everybody.
Sure, no problem.
Crypto Dave, you're up.
Hey everyone, Thanks for taking my question. This question's for Max, actually. And I don't know if the panel's been in and out a little bit, so I'm not sure if the question's been asked. But my question's around Coinbase. In Coinbase, Coinbase Wallet to be exact, we can have under the same seed phrase up to 10 wallets. When I imported my wallet into Saitamask, I can only see wallet number 1. This has been a question I've been trying to get answered. Is this going to be something that we're going to be seeing in Saitamask in the future, where we can actually see all 10 wallets under the same seed phrase?
Yeah, so it works pretty much like how MetaMask works right now. For instance, if you go to MetaMask and Saitamask and you import the seed phrase and then you create another wallet under that seed phrase, you just start seeing the wallets that you have created, because they don't go away. You know, they're on Etherscan and obviously on the blockchain. But we are working actually on a mechanism to have a check for wallets that have a balance and then show those wallets. Because if you create a zero balance wallet, then let's see, you just create another one. But if you have a balance, at least it should show those wallets. Hopefully that answered your question.
You were coming in and out, Max. I didn't understand everything you said, but
It happens in the mic panel, man. That sucks. I know.
Can you guys hear me? What he was saying is they're gonna add a feature on there that allows you to swap, into the single wallet. Because like you're saying, Coinbase has 10 different wallets that you can attach to the singular seed phrase. So they're looking at adding a feature onto Saitamask that allows people to kind of toggle between those without having to import an entirely new seed phrase every single time, because it's just specific to Coinbase from what I've gathered.
Yeah, and that would be great because the way it stands right now in Coinbase, it's all 10 wallets are attached, even though they're different addresses, they're attached to one seed phrase. And in Saitamask, you can only see wallet 1. So if we could tap through those.
Yeah. So you're able to, create wallets based on that seed phrase, and that they should show up. But we'll add that in there so that you could see it automatically with wallets with balances.
That would be fantastic. Yeah.
All right. We go to Saitama, Dubai. We go to Lotus. And we close with Torres.
Hello, hey everyone. Hey Max, Han, and Russ. How's it going, everyone? I got a question actually. It's quite intriguing. So, in terms of these exclusive partnerships, so let's say these exclusive tokens that are going to be exclusive to Saitamask. Now, if they want to be listed on other centralized exchanges, do the exchanges need to buy liquidity from Saitamask?
Yeah, so the way that it works, right, is the same thing we were going to do with Lily. It's the same concept. So they'll have like a reserve token set aside. So the liquidity will forever live on Saitamask, but they'll have like a certain amount of native token set aside for reserve for specifically listing on centralized exchanges. So, well, for example, right, if Lucky Roo launches on Saitamask, say they have 10% reserve tokens set aside. Now, those 10% of tokens will sit in a wallet or a liquidity pool, not on it'll be on Saitamask, but it'll be set aside specifically for listing on exchanges. So when, a centralized exchange says, okay, we want to list you, now you pull 2% from that wallet or however many X amount of tokens, and you create a pairing option on their platform with USDT or Ethereum or whatever they want to do as a pairing option on that platform. Now, if their reserve tokens run out, then you have to actually purchase the tokens on Saitamask like you would on Uniswap, and migrate them over to the centralized exchange, creating that pairing pool. It's the same concept, right? Because Saitamask is a deflationary platform in itself, right? It's decentralized. So it's the same concept where we do with Uniswap, same as Saitamask. If we wanted to take Saitama right now and list it on a centralized exchange, we would need to either take Saitama that we already have or purchase more from Uniswap pool and migrate it over to that centralized exchange and create a pairing, whether it's USDT or whatever option that we have. And you can have as many as you want on any exchange. You just need to provide enough tokens or liquidity for that. So it's really the same concept. It's just instead of Uniswap, it's Saitamask. But everything else is exactly the same. It's the same with any decentralized exchange.
And when the liquidity is migrated over to the exchanges, does it reflect on the Earn wallet?
No, I mean, because it's not. If they accept the tokenomics, I mean, if a centralized exchange reflects, the tokenomics inside of their transactions, whether it's distribution or burn, now that's up to each and every individual centralized exchange whether or not they want to accept those tokenomics of that specific coin or not. And again, that's nothing that we control because the buys and sells on centralized exchanges we don't control anyways. So that's why you see price differences between LBank, Bitmar, BKX, all these different places. There's the same Tama price is different because their price does not reflect on DEX tools. It doesn't reflect on CMC or CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. It's inside their own platform. It's centralized. It's not decentralized. So that's where you get arbitrage. So if there's a massive spike in buys on BKX and Saitama price jumps up 30%, you can imagine, people will sell on that exchange and then go buy on Uniswap because the arbitrage or the price is lower. So when you guys are looking at decentralized versus centralized, it's two totally different elements. The centralized exchange doesn't necessarily interact with the blockchain. It's their own living, breathing organism. And whatever you want to swap on there, it has to be created in a pair that's unique to that platform, and it kind of lives inside that platform. It doesn't go anywhere else. It doesn't talk to its neighbor. It just lives on that singular platform. Does that help kind of understand a little bit in the difference in how those two interact? But creating the pairing is just about removing some of those tokens from Saitamask. If all the liquidity is in one spot, then you have to remove some of it and put it on another platform. If they have reserves, you do that. If not, then the developers or whoever is creating that opportunity on the different platform have to use some of their own tokens or purchase more through Saitamask to migrate over onto a centralized exchange.
Yeah, it's 100% understood. Thank you and have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, my man. All right, Max, I had two questions and we got to Lotus real quick. I have a question. When liquidity you think it will be normalized?
It's a little harder to say. It could take maybe a month or two, obviously, or longer over time. It depends on what you're comparing it to, right? As far as normalized, it's swapping perfectly fine now. But if you want to compare it to Uniswap to get to that volume, then yeah, that'd take a little bit more time, maybe a few months, or if not, depending on some of the stuff that we're doing to put more liquidity into it. So, we're monitoring every day and coming up with different solutions to get it done faster.
Awesome, man. And the other one is, do you think there will be a future of charts like history of each token, example like the Binance ones?
Oh yeah. So that's part of the side of desktop. We have a place where you can see like the liquidity pools and performance of the pools and statistics and analytics. We call them SATA analytics. That's something that we've been beta testing, and that's how we've been monitoring the pools. Because going through Etherscan and doing all the math every single day for all the tokens pairs that we have, then that's tedious. So we had to make sure that we have some visibility.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Lotus, go ahead.
Thank you, Coke. Hi, nice to see you. I have a question from the Spanish community. So we have somebody that has tried Max to swap 5 billion Saitama tokens for Impact XP over 6 times. transaction is failed, but they're being charged a gas fee?
So that is a previous release that we had. Just because if so the transaction gets submitted directly to the blockchain, whether or not it successfully goes through or it fails. A lot of that was happening was because the slippage probably was not high enough, or it was just not enough for gas. Of course, I have to take a look at it, but if he can send me a message directly, then I'd be more than happy to take a look, see if he has any specific issue, or if he just needs to update to the newest version, or whatever is going on.
Yeah, so when you guys are transacting on Saitamask, like you guys have to understand too, it's the same as Uniswap. Like when you guys, it's still a decentralized platform. So if you go to swap Ethereum for a new token or any token on Uniswap and you don't have enough gas, like if your gas you set it at the very minimum, there's a strong possibility, depending on blockchain traffic, that your transaction is going to fail. And it's not necessarily because there's an issue with Uniswap. It's just because the router gets congested, there's too much volume, and your gas fee is just set too low. So a lot of times, people, like, well, I don't care if it goes through immediately. I just want to make sure I get the coins and spend less money, less Ethereum on the gas fee. I mean, that's great, but sometimes you run that risk of your transaction failing and losing that Ethereum. So, because the Saitamask operates on the Ethereum blockchain, it's the same concept. So, we'll just think of it that way, like setting your slippage to a decent amount, making sure you're using a higher gas just to make sure your transaction does go through. Even though, our fees are less, it's still gonna, you're still gonna have to pony up some Ethereum to make them go through. So just think of it the same way. It is a decentralized platform, the same as Uniswap. It still interacts on the ERC chain. So just trying to make sure it goes through and you're not getting failed transactions. Just set the gas a little bit higher.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm sorry if I missed it. Is there a specific slippage that should be set for this transaction to go through? Did we mention that?
I think when we talked about earlier, we mentioned that you want to stick to a higher percentage, especially on tokens that require it. I'm not sure about the Impact XP and Saitama pair, but probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 5% all the way up to 15%. But I can definitely take a look, and then if he sends me a message, and I can give you more details.
Thank you very much, Max. And one last thing, what are the chances of maybe having a video, like a tutorial that'll show people like what steps to take and what's the easiest way to use Saitamask?
Yeah, Gabe's actually putting one together. He's I think he just got back to Brazil today. So he already put some tutorial videos together. He wanted to make a couple of edits on them before he released them to everybody. But yeah, he just got back from Brazil, so he's working on those. So hopefully we'll get those out to you this week over the next few days. We want to obviously make sure we get them out prior to the State of Realty launch on Friday. So without a doubt, make sure we'll get those out prior to then. But yeah, he's got them done. So he wanted to make a few changes. He's a perfectionist. So let him make a couple edits and then we'll get them out to you guys.
Thank you very much. And also, Mac, one last thing. This will be the last one. I'm sorry. There is a Instagram account, and it's very dangerous for anybody on here that has Instagram. They've reached out to me, and it's a Max Hernandez account, and it has over 5,000 holders. Followers. I'm sorry. So just be very careful if you're ever, if they ever reach out to you, trying to get you, to click on any links, go on any sites and stuff like that. So I just wanted to bring that up. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody in here. Nice seeing you. Look forward to Friday inside of Realty.
Yeah, the only one that Max had, I think the only two, right, is Twitter and OnlyFans, right? That's the only two you have, Max? Twitter and OnlyFans? You guys don't have that one.
No, it's mostly like Twitter what's it called, on TG. I am on Facebook and on Instagram, but I don't really. I'm not a big social media person, so the best way, if you really want to get my attention as far as something that's very urgent, is my email. Just go to max@saitamatoken.com. I'll get it directly. Obviously, I receive a lot of emails, and I can definitely reach out as fast as I can. But yeah, definitely not OnlyFans. Remember when we had Only Lamb?
Well, we tried. We don't have a marketing wallet, man. We got to get revenue going somewhere.
Well, yeah, that's one way to get money, right?
We tried to get Nam in the beginning, but he wouldn't do it. It was Nam's only. Remember, or was it? Yeah, I remember. Funny.
Okay, everybody, we go. We went 10 minutes after, so let's go ahead and let everybody go. I apologize if I missed somebody for questions, but feel free to send a question to me, and I will relate the message to Max. And thank you so much, Russ and Max, for this conversation. It is very helpful and very a lot of knowledge that transfer over here. So I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening. I am going to jump over to Saitama, Dubai, to do a little bit of a Dubai Expo recap a little. So if you want to join me, go for it.
All right, thank you. And yeah,
everyone.
We'll definitely keep doing these. Take care, guys.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks, Han. See you guys.
All right. Thanks, Ross. Bye.